Welcome back.
We're currently at Siem Reap, Cambodia.
We are Cory and Wallace, an early retired couple on a full-time journey around the world. With a passion for exploring new cultures, discovering hidden gems, and enjoying delicious local food, we are on a mission to experience as much of the world as we can.
And we are traveling today to Da Nang, Vietnam.
We haven't done much for the last couple of days. After 3 straight days of exploring the temples in the Angkor Archaeological Park, we needed a break. So we celebrated my birthday. We then took 2 days off pretty much completely. We did laundry and...
We hid it in the air conditioning.
Yes. We did have dinner with friends last night though.
They're Ali and Rob. They're from Grounded Life Retirement Travel. If you don't know their channel, I'll put a link down below and you should check them out. We learned a lot from them.
Yeah, it was really random to have run into them here in Siem Reap, Cambodia, but very glad we did. So, Ali and Rob, if you're watching, hello. And like Cory said, we are now packed up. We're about to check out of our hotel here at the Courtyard Siem Reap and gonna head to the airport for a flight to Da Nang, Vietnam.
So what did you think of Cambodia overall?
First impressions when we landed in Phnom Penh, I didn't love Cambodia. When we hit Sihanoukville, I really didn't love Cambodia, to be perfectly honest. But Koh Rong and Siem Reap really, really grew on us and redeemed this place, in my opinion.
Yeah, we were quite surprised. We met a lot of expats that have actually moved here permanently, or as permanently as you can as an expat. And we never really understood why until we kind of ended up in Siem Reap. Not saying that Siem Reap's the only place that expats can live and be happy, but we understood a lot more as to why they fell in love with this place and why they chose to stay. So now that we get that, Cambodia is now back on the we will return list.
Absolutely.
And we have a lot more temples to explore.
Yeah.
Not knowing that you could take breaks in between kind of hurt us. 3 days of intensive exploring is just too much. That heat just, it will drain you.
The heat and the humidity kicks your butt after the second day. I mean, heck, even after the first day. But by day 3, we were pretty hurting. So yeah, like Cory said, we've now learned we can take days in between. So if you buy the 3-day pass, you have 10 days to use them all. And odds are when we come back, we're going to do the 7-day pass. That's valid for a 30-day period. So any 7 days in a 30-day period, and take our time exploring all the temples, because that'd be really awesome. But yeah, so unfortunately, we are flying the long way around today. We're actually going to be catching an AirAsia flight first to Bangkok, where we're going to have almost a 3-hour layover before another AirAsia flight to Da Nang. And that, unfortunately, is because when we were trying to book, there was one direct flight from Siem Reap to Da Nang on Air Cambodia, and we couldn't figure out how to book it. Our computer wasn't working for that. The mobile app wasn't working for that. So by that point, we needed to book an exit flight in order to get our e-visas sorted. So we booked the AirAsia flight, and we're doing it the long way. We've since discovered that the Air Cambodia app on mobile phone did work if you had the VPN turned off. So just a lesson that we've learned there is to try and make sure the VPN's not active if we're running into problems. So hopefully that info helps someone watching this down the road. Anything else to add?
No, come along with us and see how our travel day is.
With any luck, it'll go smoothly, but it's us, so I'm not expecting that at all. So we just arrived at Siem Reap Angkor International Airport, and as our taxi driver or Grab driver was pulling in through the, I guess there's a toll or ticket booth for his car, and we're pulling up to the terminal. He tells us apparently there's no power here, but he thinks maybe there's power in the terminal, so we're about to find out.
For an international airport, this is extremely quiet.
So we've just encountered a first on this trip.
we actually ended up having our backpacks weighed, which usually they just don't even glance at. But so mine was at 10 kilos, his was at
8.5 kilos.
8.5 kilos.
And 7 kilos is what they allow for a carry-on bag.
But they had no problem with his, but they really wanted me to check mine. But I explained to them that A, I carry a laptop, and B, it is a CPAP machine, which is a medical device.
My CPAP, not Cory's, but...
But so I asked them if they make allowances for medical devices, and the answer was yes. So once they verified it was a CPAP machine, they were fine with that.
But just something to be aware of if you're flying on AirAsia out of Siem Reap International Airport, that might be a problem for you. We are now inside the Angkor Lounge, which seems to be the only airport lounge here at the Siem Reap Airport. And we got in here with our priority pass. That comes with our Amex Platinum cards. I believe they take Dragon Pass too. So basically, if you have any sort of credit card with lounge access, you should have access to this one.
This lounge is super quiet. I think we're the only ones in here. Kind of like Bangkok, but this is a way nicer lounge than the one in Bangkok. So the flight board says our flight is delayed, and we were just going to sit in the lounge, but then we were talking to a gentleman who said his friend, it said delayed, and then it took off on them. So we're not going to take any chances.
And if it turns out it is delayed, we can just go back to the lounge after anyways, because we have unlimited lounge access.
That was a really nice lounge, by the way.
That was.
Super comfortable chairs, just nice and relaxed.
And a surprisingly good food selection and fairly good quality food, which was quite a surprise. So, yeah, very happy with the Angkor Lounge.
We're on board. Technically, it was delayed, I think, by 5 minutes.
Like a 20-minute delay.
Yeah. Siem Reap really surprised us. The airport here is really nice. It's so clean and it's just so modern.
And pretty efficient for like all the immigration stuff, check-in and all that went really smoothly overall, so no complaints.
No. And we're flying AirAsia again, and so far no problems.
We've landed safely at Don Mueang Airport in Bangkok. Had to go through the transfer desk and go through security again, so we had to dump our water bottles that we'd refilled at the previous airport, but that's just the way they like to do things apparently.
We've never been to this airport. It's a lot bigger than we anticipated.
Yeah, so we found our gate and now we are just gonna go hit up the Coral Lounge to kill the next couple hours before we have to board. This lounge is just a little busier than the last one.
The Coral Lounge surprised me. They have some pretty good options. I ended up having a lot of dessert items. I had chendol. There's this banana leaf, steamed rice and banana wrapped in a banana leaf. That's really good. And I was able to have like some Indian food. So that was a win.
Yeah, overall, quality of the food here maybe not quite as good as the Angkor Lounge that we just left back in Siem Reap, but selection was pretty good. It was a little busier here, but the seats are nice and comfy, and this is not a bad place to kill the 2.5-hour layover. That's the banana and steamed sticky rice thing wrapped in a banana leaf that Cory was talking about. It's really tasty. Reminds us of our first trip to Thailand 7 years ago. So you can see the bus out there is how we had to board. And I don't know about you, Cor, but I always find whenever you have to go from the gate to the plane by a bus like that, it is always such a cluster.
I think it's because they don't actually board by zones in that scenario. It's just get on the bus, come here, and load. So everybody, you can be anywhere on the plane, and it's always fun because you're always holding. Like we always sit at the front, and we always hold up people getting on.
Not too badly.
Boarding a plane is
Yeah.
never fun, and offboarding is never fun. So there's just no way around it.
But yeah, boarding with the bus like that, you don't get the orderly by like row or by zone, and it's just such a mess. Anyways, we've got an hour and 45-minute long flight, and we should be in Da Nang, Vietnam.
That was really weird. We got off the plane and the door was locked and we couldn't get out of the terminal or into the terminal. Well, that was interesting.
That was the least efficient immigration process so far in Southeast Asia. That took forever.
I mean, it wasn't inefficient once we got up to the gate. It was just the lineup wasn't moving at all. So they got us into a different line that went by really fast. But it was odd.
And that was just 1 or 2 planes that came in. It wasn't even that busy, but they didn't have enough customs officers working or something. So that took forever. Anyways.
Also, I forgot, we're in Vietnam. So if you enter or exit the airport at all, you always have to scan your bags.
Like X-ray, yeah. I forgot about that. So we're out of the airport now, and we're just gonna go over to the Grab pickup point and order a ride. And as usual, you run the gauntlet of taxi drivers to do that. So just be aware, and we'll pick it up at the Airbnb. So we're at our Airbnb. This is the Sekong Apartment, and it's a little 1-bedroom, I guess, king bed studio apartment. Looks pretty good.
Several days later.
All right, welcome back. It has been a few days since we last picked up the camera. We've been in Da Nang now for a little bit, and that's because we needed a new laptop. Our current one, basically the battery started swelling. I didn't notice till a few weeks ago that it was really getting bad, and let's just say it's a good thing we got to Vietnam okay and it didn't explode or catch fire while we were in Cambodia or on a plane. That would have been absolutely terrible. Anyways, Vietnam at least is a great place to get a new computer. Lots of computer shops here in Da Nang, so we've been able to source a new laptop, got that all set up. Long story, but anyways, here is our apartment in Da Nang. This is the Sekong Apartment, which we booked with Airbnb, and it's a little 1-bedroom studio apartment, I guess. So yeah, when you walk in, you've got quite a lot of space. The kitchen here was a little bit of a challenge. We've been through, this is our 3rd stovetop. The first 2 were double burner, just electric stovetops, and they were both broken in various ways. They eventually gave us this single burner stove, but it's basically brand new and it's an induction cooktop, which works really well. So that was one minor thing. Other than that, there's a decent amount of storage and it's okay. Wasn't the best equipped Airbnb we've ever had. We ended up going to a local grocery store and spending like $5 on a set of knives and a better spatula. So those have actually been pretty good, gotten pretty cheap, and we're here for 5 weeks, so no big deal there. We've got a little dining table area, which is now one of our desks as well. And this is the challenging thing when you're here for 5 weeks. This is a really tiny little fridge. Then yeah, there's the living room space. So we do have a couch. It's not the most comfortable, but it's not bad either. Coffee table. We do have a big TV mounted to the wall, as well as another desk where we do the bulk of our work from. And there's actually a fairly large, fairly narrow, but it's fairly long balcony or deck with technically an ocean view. Now, the ocean view is obstructed by these two other apartment buildings, and there's also a fairly disheveled looking property down below, but you know what? Given where we are, it's not bad. We can actually see the ocean. And a king-size bed, which is actually pretty comfortable, so we've had no complaints there, as well as an okay AC unit. It works, it's decently cool, and a fair bit of closet space. So yeah, I mean, for a studio apartment, it's actually pretty roomy, and we have enough room to move around and do our work, and even space to work out, you know, move the coffee table aside. So not bad.
The funniest thing about the aircon is that the way it's mounted, there's a shelf right underneath it. If you open up that door, I can show you. So it blocks the airflow. So it's kind of funky and different, but it's okay.
Yeah, they kind of built it into this cabinet unit, which is kind of weird, but what are you gonna do? And the only other thing in here is the bathroom, which is behind me there. It's small, but it's functional. It has hot water at the tap and the shower. Haven't had any issues there. Decent water pressure, and even better is the shower door actually closes properly and keeps all of the water contained in the shower area, which is definitely better than most of the places we've stayed so far. So this building also has a pool and a gym, which are on the roof. The elevator only goes to the 5th floor, which is where we're on, so you then have to take the stairs to go the rest of the way. So this is the gym. It's very small. It has 2 ellipticals. I guess that's technically elliptical as well, and 2 treadmills, and no AC, and it is stinking hot up here. It's stifling. There is this one lone little fan there, but we're not going to be working out here. We're going to be working out from our air-conditioned apartment. It looks like they used to have a little bar area there, but that's clearly no longer in use. There's also this nice little like patio area, though it is really hot. Sun shines right through these slats, so it's not somewhere you'd really want to come out and hang out. And even if you did, you'd get this really funky suntan from the slats of the wood casting shadows. The pool's pretty nice though. It's not quite an infinity pool, but it's got a decent view. You can see the ocean from up here, and it's reasonably long. Not a lot of space to hang out, but there's 4 loungers over there. So there's a couple of change rooms here, a couple of bathrooms up here as well. But the final thing, there's a sauna. We're back in our nice air-conditioned apartment. Yeah, I could not imagine using a sauna in this heat.
I honestly, truly cannot even imagine it, but maybe to a person who lives here full time and has been here all their life, maybe this is a cold snap. I don't know. to us, it's not.
But anyways, that's pretty much it for our travel here to Da Nang. What do you think so far?
It was a very smooth. It was a great travel day. As far as travel days go, it was probably one of our smoother ones. I think we're getting a little tiny bit of a routine. Don't quote me on that. The interesting part about buying the computer here, they wanted to give us so much swag. We had to like actively tell them we can't carry it. Everything, like they wanted to give us a backpack. They wanted to give us like huge mouse pads. They had a hard time taking no for an answer. It was really interesting.
Yeah, we ended up getting 2 computer mice with the new laptop because they were forcing one on us, a little wireless one, but unbeknownst to us, the laptop came with one in the box as well. They tried to give us like 3 or 4 5 different mouse pads. We ended up taking a couple of them because we need to replace one. There was a huge backpack which we couldn't even fit, but it wasn't just the computer place, because just yesterday we had to go to a different computer store, buy a couple of external SSD drives for data backups, and even there they tried to give us a bunch of swag.
Yeah, and they seem really confused when you don't want it. Like, it throws them so hard. It's really funny. So,
Yeah.
Be prepared. If you ever have to buy a computer here, you're gonna end up getting a lot more than you bargained for.
In a good way, I suppose.
Yes.
But yeah, anyways, I think that's it for the moment. We are here for a few more weeks, so there's going to be more adventures coming up. And in fact, one of the cool things is we didn't even realize when we came here, just walking along the beach the other night, we saw a big sign. So we are here during the Da Nang International Fireworks Festival, which should be really cool. And that starts this coming Saturday. So we're going to go catch some of that and hopefully get some of that on film to show you guys. Anything else to add?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so that's where we're going to leave it. Thanks very much for joining us on our travels, you guys. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up, give us a like, and make sure to subscribe.
And join us in our other videos for more adventures. Until then, stay curious and keep exploring. That's awesome.
The other thing is that, shoot, I totally lost my train of thought. Give me 1 second, future Cory, as you're looking at this. Thanks. What was I talking about? We're talking about the carry-on.